we're getting to some of the most exciting things. In terms of today, I hope you already feel that you're learning new things about how you use Make. You've been inspired, and there's actually been a lot of talk today about just sort of understanding how do you roll out automations in a company, how do you build kind of this champion mindset. So you might even be learning a few things about yourself. We're going to move into our release highlights for 2024. I'm thrilled to be here with the product management team to unveil some exciting new features that are designed to make your work faster, easier, and more creative. In this session, you will get an inside look at features that are already in the product and ready to use. As you heard from Darren this morning, you may not even have realized they're there, but they are. A sneak peek at a few features in beta, and a preview into some things coming soon. And what's really special about these updates is many of these are being announced publicly for the first time. As Darren mentioned in this morning's keynote, we're dedicated to fueling your innovation, helping you build faster, adapt more quickly, and maintain control as you scale Make across your organization. Everything you see in this presentation is inspired by customers like you. Your feedback drives us to keep improving, and we're only successful when you are. So let's see what more you'll be able to do with Make. Sorry, it's still me. I'm going to start us off with the first highlight. I'm now stepping out of my role as host of Waves and into my favorite role at Make, which is leading our user experience team. By day, I have the privilege to work with a talented team of researchers and designers, and by night, in Karlsruhe, in Germany, Duolingo is always there, haunting me, reminding me about my German lessons. All right, Duo, los geht's. Let's get into it. We're going to start at the surface of the product. After logging in, it's what every single one of you sees and uses. It's the Make dashboard, and in particular, our navigation. It's all these links on the left in purple and across the top that get you to what you want. But we've got a bit of a problem here, and we need to solve that. Do any of you notice anything about the number of links you see on the screen? We've kind of got a lot of them, and as Make grows, we're literally running out of space to add new features and keep everything easy to find. So what are we going to do about that? We're introducing a new navigation. This is designed to make everything more accessible, organized, and ready for what's next. We're bringing in a secondary menu on the left that will help you get to everything faster. This is a big change to our UI, and you're the first to hear about it publicly. And now I want to show you what this looks like in a demo. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Perfect. So imagine you are Urban Sprout, and you have signed up for the beta, which, by the way, will have a beta QR code available at the end of this presentation. And as you can see, the new secondary menu is here, and all of the links that used to be across the top have moved over here. You're like, okay, seems fine. Not that exciting maybe for that part of the product. But what happens when you click on organization and you get to an area of the product where we actually have a lot going on, and it's been super difficult to see what exactly are the features you have available. And so now we have everything grouped into simple categories, so it is much easier to scan and much faster to find exactly what you need. So that's one of the first changes that's happening with the navigation. Now, you might imagine that Urban Sprout, because of the type of customer they are, has a lot of custom apps. And when you're building custom apps, you really need to be more in a developer mindset, right? Because you want to be able to see all of the custom apps you have available and really start to get into the details of, do I have a connection set up? Are there modules built? And so what we're doing here, as you can see, and let's try this really quickly, new connection. And yes, that was great spelling. We're just going to leave that typo. It's prohibited to modify apps originating from a different zone. Of course, it's a demo. It didn't work. Classic. But had that connection worked, this little badge here in the corner that might be hard to see in gray that currently says 0, that would update to 1, right? It's these small, subtle details that may seem insignificant kind of at a quick glance, but really, in the testing we do, we're seeing that it's helping people build faster and do more. And finally, in regards to kind of navigation and all of these UI changes we'll be rolling out over time, is we're really starting to think about how do we improve the overall experience of filtering for what you want, sorting information. And so as you can see here, we've modified the scenario history page so that it's much easier to see all your filter choices and see all of your sorting options. And this is really just the beginning of the details we're going to be changing and make, all for your benefit. And so with that, I'm going to go back to the main screen now and close out my part of the demo here. And so we're going to keep on the theme of scenarios, but now take a look at the builder. And for that, I'd like to welcome my esteemed colleague, Ondrej Vesely, to the stage.
Thank you, Lisa. And let's get into the scenario builder. But who am I? Hello, my name is Ondrej. I'm a PM at Make by day, and that bookworm and old school metalhead by night. But why am I here? To ask you, do you like Waves so far? Is it good? That's great. So let's take a look how to make our builds more powerful, how to get the best out of Make, how to get the most of it. Last year, when I was here, I was presenting scenario inputs, and we were talking about how to connect one scenario to another, and it seemed powerful. It seemed good, but it was not good enough. That's why are we here this year to talk about sub-scenarios, because we are going to make connecting one scenario to another way simpler, way better, and way more usable than it was before. Have any one of you tried to connect one scenario to another using the HTTP webhook combination? Did you like it? No. I knew it. It's great. That's why sub-scenarios. Sub-scenarios is a simple way how to connect one scenario to another, to pass data, and to debug. You're going to love it. I'll show you briefly. But I have one more feature to show you, and still we are in a scenario builder. But if you are building something powerful, something really cool, something complex, you want to document it. You want to have something in writing. You want to make an impact. And if someone enters the scenario, you want to share what you've done. So that's why notes. Notes are a super cool way how to, in a modern look and feel, in a structured way, document what have you done in the scenario. This is one of the features that is coming soon. We were waiting for Waves to show you the first time scenario notes, and they're going to be released right after Waves, early next week. Thank you. So let's take a look into how it actually works. Come on. Yeah. I have this very simple scenario that I want to connect to another. That's why we have the new Scenarios app, where I can super simply look for another scenario, check whether that scenario is on, whether it's ready to get data to. I can super simply search. This search input is completely new. It's going to be used in way more apps than just this one. I can even check whether that's the scenario I want to connect to be absolutely sure, because if you're lazy as I am, you will have a lot of similarly named scenarios. So you just maybe want to check, as I did. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to save it. And I want to actually run it to see what's going on. And now the beautiful part starts. I love it. I have some executions. And if you were connecting with the HTTP webhook combination, it was hell to investigate what's going on. By the scenario ID, now you can click up and down. You can go deeper in that connected scenarios, and you can go back in that scenario chain or in the connected scenarios to actually see what went well or what went wrong. So the debugging, super simple now. In the upper route, I have more scenarios connected to demonstrate that I can really go deeper in the scenario chain, in that connected scenarios, and I can always, as you will see in a bit, I can traverse up. So I can check the full execution history all the way down and all the way up again. It's beautiful, but still not enough. Loading, loading. I want to show you one more thing, and that one more thing we call relation tree. Relation tree is a visual representation of the tree of scenarios, how they are connected one to another. It reacts to a context, so if I choose another scenario and go to relation tree, I can again see the relations of that scenario. So the actual one is the leftmost line, and I can see what sent data to it and what it triggered after that. You can see the indication of what scenarios are connected to what even on the scenario list, so it's everywhere, all over the place, scenarios, sub-scenarios are. And one more thing I wanted to show you. Yes, nodes. Nodes are actually looking way better, they are way more usable, and they are directly in the builder, so you can see what you are documenting, what's going on in the scenario, and if anyone enters the scenario, he can check. You have all the formatting options. We are actually using the same component as Slack uses, for example, Quill.js, so it provides us with these formatting capabilities. Looks cool, you have emojis, you have colors, you have everything there. I love it. If you have many nodes, if you like to type a lot, you have the right panel as you had now, but way more functional. You can look for a node, you can very easily see all the nodes together to check what's going on. That's a very brief look into the new features that are coming into Make. Sub-scenarios are available now, nodes will come in a bit. That's that on my end. Thank you. I knew you'd gonna love it. Thank you. And with that, I would like to invite on the stage my esteemed and beloved colleague, Daniel Bourne.
Hello, everybody. I hear the energy is good. I heard it all the way behind the curtain. Everybody is responding to questions, clapping, laughing. It's good. Are you ready to hear some more? Yes. Amazing. So that's what I'm here for. So my name is Daniel Bourne. I happen to be the product manager for the absolute core of Make. We call it the engine. And thanks to the engine and my two kids, I'm mostly awake at nights. Luckily, today, I was here since yesterday, and I slept well, because my kids are back in Prague. But we are not here at all to talk about myself, quite the opposite, actually. We are here to talk about your problems and our way of solving those. So imagine that you have set up all of the fancy sub-scenarios, edit scenario nodes, and you're utilizing the new navigation, all of the exciting stuff that you heard about. Just imagine getting a message like that, like I did earlier this morning. So your colleague accidentally revoked your Jira token. And he's like, "Oh, that's fine, mate. Have a good one." And you're like, "But wait, that's actually not fine at all, right? I'm using this connection in 100 of my scenarios, and the whole business essentially relies on these scenarios. Without my Jira command nudger, the developers are just not going to do anything, right? They need to be nudged to respond to these comments." So here you are thinking, this has to be easy, right? Because a password change or a token rotation, that's not something which is an edge case, right? That should be something that we account for, that we expect. But until now, you would have to go and create a new connection. You would have to name it properly so that you don't lose it, because by default it's called like my OpenAI connection, right? And you're going to have 10 of them likely. So name it, don't lose it, keep track of it. Locate all of the scenarios that are relying on this connection. That sounds easier than it is, actually. One of the ways, which is quite scary, but you can try doing that, you can hit the delete button, and that actually shows you where the connection is used. That's nice, right? And then, once you have the list of scenarios, you open them one by one. Your browser will likely crash, right, three or four times, because you have 100 tabs open. And in all of these scenarios, you have to open them module by module. And don't forget anything, right? Because if you forget it, you have to do it all over again. Once you have it, you would want to live a happy life. But sorry to break it to you, that's no longer possible because you died a little with every module that you had to remap, right? Your light slowly faded. And I'm very excited to tell you that this is no longer the case, because there is a very few things that don't change. Not many things are set in stone. And for whatever reason, our connections and keys were actually one of these things until very recently. So now on production, if you pull out your laptops, you will see that in your connection section, there is an edit button nearly next to all of the connections that you have, I bet you. And yeah, let's see the demo. So here is my business-critical Jira comment nudger. And as you can see, earlier this morning, the scenario broke after successfully nudging my team day and night for the past weeks. Luckily, I connected the dots with the message I received earlier, right? So I know that it's the connection that's broken. So I go and navigate to the connection section. And it's a nice coincidence that in my live demo, the relevant connection is at the upper spot, right? That's just, I'm glad for it. And yeah, so as you can see, there is the edit button that pops out this dialog, which is warning me that I can mess things up. Luckily, they are already messed up, so there is nothing for me to make worse. So I'll just imagine that I'm typing in the API token, right? I just didn't want to do that on stage, so I'll just type in my email address. And I'll hit save, hope for the best, click the verify button to see if actually I get the green checkbox, which is always very satisfactory, and I did. I do not want to save this, sorry. And yeah, let's re-enable the scenario and see if it goes through this time. All right, my team is back online. The connection propagated everywhere. And thank you. Yeah, so this applies both to connections as well as keys. Keys are used mostly by the HTTP app. So if you're using the make an API key request, whatever module in the HTTP app, the keys are also editable. So that's been it from my side. And I'm excited to bring Michal Skvělý, sorry, not Michal Skvělý, other Michal, to talk about auditability and observability. Thank you.
I'm obviously not Michal Skvělý, but my name is Michal, and I'm product manager tackling the observability challenges within Make by Day and trying to make the world a slightly funnier place by making memes by night. But don't worry, there are no more memes after this slide. As today, I'll show you how Make empowers our customers to manage and govern their accounts effectively. Let's dive into the latest additions to our enterprise plan. The first feature is audit logs. We've added a dedicated section in Make's UI to capture and display users' historical activities, making it much easier to track who did what and when. The other feature, the one I'm slightly more excited about as we just launched it this Monday, is analytics. The new analytics dashboard provides a comprehensive view of your Make account. With this feature, you'll get a clear visibility into your most critical metrics, allowing you to understand exactly what is happening across all your scenarios. Analytics becomes especially valuable as businesses grow and the number of scenarios increases, because when managing hundreds of scenarios, tracking them all can become quite complex, especially when it comes to identifying which scenarios are consuming the most operations or which ones require extra attention. The more scenarios the customer has, the more valuable the analytics dashboard becomes for effective oversight and optimization. With the new analytics dashboard, managing this scale has become much simpler. Now that we've covered the new features, it's time to see them in action. Let's start with the audit logs, where I'll show you how easy it is to trace back users' activities. Imagine I was also affected by the same scenario that Dan was just working on. I noticed that the scenario was deactivated and then activated again after I refresh it. And as it loads, you can see that it was activated again by Dan. So this is all I know. Looking at the history, I should have enough information to trace back to when this happened and learn a bit more using audit logs. And let me just narrow down the search real quick, and I will be able to see all Dan's activities within the given time period. And I can quickly see that just before he activated the scenario, he also updated the connection. And I can explore the details where I'll find out that the connection he was updating is the very same that is used in the scenario that we are talking about. And this basically gives us the full picture that most likely the scenario was broken by the connection and then was able to fix it. The audit logs, as you can see, can store up to 12 months worth of data on a rolling basis. And right now, we are tracking 40 unique events, and we are already continuously working on adding more events to make this feature even more empowered. Now that we've seen the audit logs, how can audit logs provide detailed tracking? Let's dive into analytics to explore the deeper or the broader insights it offers. So now with the new analytics dashboard, you can get all the answers pretty quickly. For example, if you want to see which scenarios are consuming the Pons operation, that's probably the first thing you'll notice as soon as you get here, right? Because it's pretty nice sorted. Or if you are wondering which scenario you can optimize next, you can sort by the error rate or the errors to quickly see the ones that are most problematic. And if you want to dive into the scenario right away, simply click its name and start working your magic. The dashboard also includes a chart where you can see the top teams based on operation spent, allowing you to see which teams are driving the most activity in your account. Now, for a more comprehensive view, you can zoom out to the last 30 days and review the metrics and spot the trends from a bigger perspective. We've been building these analytics a bit more iteratively, and so right now it offers 30 days worth of data plus additional 30 days that are used for trend calculations. But we are already working on extending the history and expanding the capabilities that you can find on the dashboard to make it even better and more usable. And that's it from me. Please now give it up for my colleague, Tereza.
Everyone, I'm Tereza, a product manager at May during the week, where I focus on developing built-in apps that play an important role in building scenarios. And on the weekends, I'm pushing my mental and physical limits in Spartan races. Today's tech landscape is evolving rapidly. With AI leading this transformation, AI opens the door to new opportunities. Let's explore how AI can help us take things to the next level. Model, prompt, number of tokens, temperature. These are terms you might get lost in if you are not an AI expert. Our goal is to make AI more accessible to our users. So we developed a Make AI Tools app. With this app, you can analyze, standardize, summarize information, and much more, all without writing the prompts and understanding the complexities of AI. Meet Iveta. Iveta is a customer care manager at Urban Sprout. As you can imagine, her inbox is constantly flooded. She needs an efficient way to respond to critical emails without spending too much time. To solve her problem, she thought of using AI to summarize bad sentiment emails so she can respond to them fast. Let's take a look at how she managed to build a scenario with OpenAI module. Here we go. So, Iveta, after some trial and error, managed to select the right model, craft the prompt, and combine parameters such as temperature and many more. It was complicated. And here comes Make AI Tools app, which makes it a lot of easier. Instead of using OpenAI module with many parameters, Iveta can simply use the streamlined module from Make AI Tools app. All she needs to do is select the right module. In this case, analyze sentiment, and map the text in it. Let's test it. The emails were retrieved. They are being processed in Make AI Tools right now. And voila, the summarized emails are available in Slack. As you can see, the summary is available and ready for review. Thanks to Make AI Tools app, Iveta can save many hours of her time on setting up the scenario. And now I'm excited to welcome Seb to the stage. He is coming with more AI updates at Make.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for being here today. I'm Seb, and I see actually a lot of familiar faces. That makes me really happy. And yeah, who does not know me? I'm head of applied AI, and I am, if I'm not working with my team or with my amazing colleagues that brought all these amazing features to you today, I actually like baking pizza. So yeah, if you ever come by and want to talk about AI, or if you ever want to have a chat about automation, feel free to come by and let's have a nice pizza. So, as you saw in the last 24 hours, in Make, it is a lot about enabling with AI and making your automations with AI or with AI capabilities faster, easier to manage, and also bringing you to the age of agentic behavior. So we've seen things like the app copilot, you've seen the evolution of our AI assistant, you saw some vision of it today. And when we're thinking about it, we also see this huge growth, as Fabian mentioned this morning, when it comes to AI and workflows. It has 4x. This is a massive number. So if we're thinking about it and seeing what our customers automating with it every single day, and thinking about LinkedIn, I hope this email finds you well. Who of you sees these amazing content automations on LinkedIn and wants to join the ride and just let AI fully autonomous post how this finds you well on LinkedIn. I knew you were gonna let me hang in here, so yeah, we gotta bring you some features, right, for that. So we wanna bring you the human-in-the-loop capability to actually override that this email finds you well, rather like, hey, you wanna join me on a pizza? So with this, you can make sure your brand voice is included. With this, you can actually take a human decision. And as we are iterating and building this feature to your needs, because we see that things like Markdown, rich text, mapping, or having even a human in the loop for the age of multimodality. How do you review pictures, videos, voice? We just saw voice demo in our other AI talk. And yeah, we want to bring this to you in close beta, so please join, give us your feedback, and let's make this the best human in the loop for AI when it comes within Make. Now, a lot in Make is around visual. We just launched the grid this morning, and you see that Andy here on stage talks about the visual power, the ease of use. And this is so core to our DNA that we believe that the world of AI is visual. Just a slight note. Did we went from the 80s and 70s, from command line interfaces, to the 90s with pixeled gaming, to nowadays amazing cyberpunk gaming, to actually go back to ChatGPT black and white chat interface? Is this how AI should look? Is this the future? So we believe that AI should be everywhere and visually empowering you to develop faster, better, and making your life when building a blast. So let's see this all in action and join me on a little demo. And for those of you who has been listening to the case of Tereza, we have Iveta. And let's say Iveta got a not so friendly email this time. So now it opens. And well, the customer seems to be really unhappy. I know we only have happy customers here today, and if there's AI features you're not so happy with, I'm super happy to talk with you and make it easier for you. But nevertheless, let's imagine we have somebody who's not so happy. And now we're gonna build a sentiment of the email, and we see that the sentiment is negative. So when building this, now as a customer-centric company, we want to engage with the customer. We want to understand what was the problem. So we invite him on a call. And we want to prevent that we see, I hope this email finds you well. So what we will do is we're going to bring in the human in the loop. And in here, I can now write an email that I want to review. So I have 3 options. I can sit down, write an email for 2 minutes, and hope I make no spelling mistake. I'm German, might make one. Or I can ask a friend doing it. I can ask ChatGPT. Or I can just inside Make use Fill by AI, which we launched today. For those who've been automating today, you should see this little icon up there. And this is going to be the fastest way building functions, texts inside Make. And I will demo this live with you right now. So if the sentiment is negative, write an email to invite the customer on a call. And what it will do, it will actually build a function, and you can just apply the function and paste it there. And as the email was too short, you want to actually make it just longer. And it will not lose the context, it will still get it, and it will make it longer for you. Now, we have been playing around with it with some customers back at the restaurant up there, and you can do really crazy things with it. Yeah? It's a feature that we launched. Please vote up and down. We will analyze when it did not work so well, and we'll analyze when it worked well. We want to make your development rhythm faster. And you don't need to switch to ChatGPT anymore. You can just stay on Make and be super fast by developing visually. And with this said, now let's actually see how the human in the loop is going to work. Here we go. Now, I have my human in the loop, and this makes it AI first. I can adjust it directly in there, and I can approve it, and I can send it further. There's going to be 2 versions, differentiated one, and we're iterating on this, so you can use Markdown, rich text, and many more capabilities in there. And with this said, I am really happy that you're here today, and I will hand over and back now to my colleague Lisa, and I wish you an amazing day. Thanks a lot.
I could feel the enthusiasm from behind the curtain. That was incredible. Thank you, team, for these amazing highlights, and thank you, all of you for being there, giving us your feedback and sharing your ideas. As I mentioned in the beginning, we need this feedback to help us do even better, and I can imagine many of you, all of you, I think all of you, would really like to sign up for the betas, especially for the things Seb just showed, but the new navigation is kind of my personal favorite, so you get a choice. Scan the QR code, and you can choose which of these products, which of these feature areas you're interested in trying out. But you have to promise to give your feedback. And don't worry if you don't have your phone out or don't want to deal with it right now. Don't worry, we will be sharing all of this information in the follow-up info coming out after the event. So.